Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning and welcome. It's Nurse Richard the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. If anyone likes a bit of ear goo or yellow ear mush, you're in for a treat. Also a bit of a long one this. You can probably gather from the title and from looking at it what this is. This is not earwax. It's purulent discharge from quite a nasty infection that a gentleman came to see me with. He was a hearing aid user and he'd been on holiday and noticed problems when he was on holiday. It started giving him a bit of jip. I did ask him if he'd been in water or swimming, and that wasn't the case. So it just seems to be coincidental. I mean, all infections and bacteria and fungus, I'm not entirely sure what it is. My guess would be this is bacterial. There's no obvious fungus in, although there was a few little white spots here and there. So I can't rule it out. I've asked the doctor for a swab of this so we can get the right course treatment. But they're more common in warmer climates because all bugs and germs and bacteria and fungus they like warm, dark, damp places. So the air is already dark and probably damp as well for most people anyway. And obviously it's quite warm. I can't remember where he went on holiday. He did tell me, I forget now. I've had a lot of people coming in recently saying, oh, I've just been away and I've come back with an infection. It's really, really common after people, quite common, get a lot of water in their ears and go swimming. It's really common. It just makes me feel jealous that I'm back from holiday, have been so for a month or two. And it's just making me jealous, thinking that I could do it going back again. I need another holiday because I've had so many difficult cases in recently. You've not seen the half of them yet either. There's literally not enough time to show you all the videos that I've done, of which a lot of them were really difficult, really complicated, some really serious. I think the next one I'm going to put out there was a really serious one. Well, I think you find it very fascinating. I just can't fit them all in. I mean, I'm not even sure what video number this is, but I've recorded about 2.5-3 weeks in advance. So as you're watching this, there's already another, as I'm recording it, there's already another about 10 episodes already done because I've had that many interesting ones in to show you. You can watch them now if you want to go and join the channel. They're all out there, as well as all these hundreds and hundreds of other videos that I record. Literally every procedure I record, I put up on there. So if you want to, feel free to join. I'll try and put a card above me here. There's always a link at the end of the video or a button down below that says join. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would help. Nobody needs to become a member. I know the ones who have really enjoy it. But as I've said before, a lot of people watch these videos, millions in fact, but not all of them. Just click the button below that says subscribe, which costs nothing and it really helps me out. So if you could do that, go on, do it now. I know you want to, just press that little button down below that says subscribe. Anyways, you can see, the reason why I suspect this is probably more bacterial, like I said, I couldn't see too much evidence of fungus, although there is a particular fungal infection called Candida, which is basically based on thrush, which can present like a creamy discharge. And there is an element of creamy discharge here, and skin, but this is why you ask the doctors to do a swab. Whether they will or not, I don't know. Most of them, to be honest, they just throw some Otomize at it, which would help. Whichever one it is, it would probably help, because that's a spray that's got an antibiotic in it, also a steroid to calm down any inflammation, and I think it's also got some acetic acid in it, which if there was a fungal element, that would help to some degree with that, because it would restore the natural acidic pH balance of the ear. Not going to get too technical on it. There's people who do that far better than me. If you've seen any videos of infections like this, you'll always see it's nigh on impossible to get every single speck of this. It really is. This is the fine end tube that we've gone down to now, because it's so mushy. It's all over the place. It's hard to judge where the canal wall is sometimes, so obviously you don't want to bump into that with a little metal rod like that. The patient would not thank you for it. And it's not going to get rid of the infection. Me getting rid of all this, the infection wouldn't be gone. It'd still be lurking around there. And you know, in a week or two, if we did nothing, it'd probably look the same again next week. So it's not about getting a squeaky clean ear. Don't get me wrong, it'd help getting as much as you can, but the whole purpose of it is to get it as clean as you can, expose as much of the new skin as you can, so that when that spray gets in there, it's got a better chance of working. I mean, I'll be honest, at this point here, the gentleman was happy. He would have happily gone home and said, oh, I can hear again now. So as far as he was concerned, his symptom was fixed. He could hear, because you can see the eardrum. Yes, there is a bit of slime on that. Excuse me, we get the majority of that. But you're never going to see a squeaky clean ear with an infection like this. It's possible, but you'd be there all day, and you would put the patient in some unnecessary risks. There's a random hair down there as well, I've just noticed. The gentleman didn't have black hair. So, whose is that? I don't know. It's certainly not one of mine. It's not long enough. So I don't know where that's come from. Pretty sure it comes away. Yeah, there you go. Just disappeared there. You do find a lot of hairs in people's ears that are not the same colour as the ones on the head. that does happen quite a lot. And quite commonly, it's people who have pets. I will ask them if they've got any pets. And example, I found a lady who had loads in, and I removed them all. I'm not sure if I'll put the video on at some point. I might do. There's about like 20 odd loose black hairs in there, and this lady was completely silver haired everywhere. And I said, "Have you got a pet with black hair?" She said, "Yeah, I've got a black cat." She said, "Does it like snuggle up against you?" And yeah, they're all flown in. Now this area here, it's always hard to get to the roof of the ear canal. You really got to ask somebody to bend over as far as you can, which can be quite uncomfortable for somebody if they've not got a relatively flexible neck. So and you've also got the cartilage portion, which is kind of, you've got to push it out the way with the tube, because you can see about a couple of millimeters behind where I just am now. That's the soft bit, and then it goes to the bony bit, and you have to kind of just push the soft bit out the way so you can get to this. So what I'm trying to do is go further down and peel it backwards, because I just can't get up in that little crease, which is, as you see, that's what I'm trying to do now, and it's really tricky. I clearly just gave up. I think I've asked the patient to bend a bit more here, which he was able to do to some extent. But he said, "Oh, it's a lovely little peel when this bit comes back, from what I remember." I'm hoping it's going to come up soon as well, because I was thinking about it. There we go. Look at that. See, now I know where I am. That's why I've had to be really, really careful to this point, because they're not defined, the canal walls, because of all this slush and slurry and mush and goo everywhere. Hard to figure out, and obviously you're desperately trying not to touch the canal wall with this tube. It's really difficult. It's one of my least favourite things to do this, I'm not going to lie. I absolutely hate it when somebody comes in with something like this. You do get asked occasionally in some comments, why don't you just flush it out with water? Water's the last thing you should put in someone's ear when they've got this. It will only help to spread the infection, and it could be quite uncomfortable. I did go on a training course not that long ago, because you have to do update courses, a training course in irrigation, and the advice there from the experts that I saw, you get different advice from different experts depending on what they've read or what their personal beliefs are, and they actually said that if it's a chronic infection, if it's been there for months and months and it's not managed to clear, then in their opinion was that it was sometimes good to flush it all away with water, and then you can kind of definitely know that you're flushing every little speck out, because it wouldn't look spotless if you did flush it out. But they said only with a chronic infection, one that's been there a lot longer. And then you can kind of, yes, it does strip the ear of all its natural acidity and of all its natural antibacterial and antifungal agents, but you can kind of start afresh. So as soon as you rinse it all out, you can get the treatment in there straight away to re-acidify it and get the ear protected again. So that was their advice. I'll be honest, I haven't done that yet. I certainly won't do it in this because this is an acute infection. Acute means it literally just happened now. Chronic means it's been a longer term issue. I do get asked if things like this make me, give me the ick. The answer is no. You won't meet many nurses who get icks about anything because we've seen it all. We've seen it all, touched it all, kneeled in it all in some instances, and smelt it all. So very few things bother me in that regard. The only thing that bothers me the most is probably bones, things that are pointing the wrong way. There you go, trying to get a bit off the drum there. Really nice. Managed to get most of this, not all of it. Again, bit risky, but I was happy that what just came away there came away. The rest of it is a delicate area. I don't want to maul around there too much. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. But yeah, bones pointing the wrong way or sticking through the skin. Well, not for me. And metal work in people's, like, you have frames on people's legs or in ankles and knees. Or worse still, the halos. I don't know if you've seen those. Like spikes coming out of the head with a metal ring around it. When people are in having to keep the neck stable or had some surgery there or in traction. Oh, it's not for me. Every nurse has got one thing that they're a bit like about. But none of it bothered me. As I was in my past job, I really did get to see all sorts because I visited people in their own homes. And let's just say we had a saying, wipe your feet on the way out of some places, not on the way in. And it was not uncommon because we did a lot of work on people's legs and feet, especially when it came to leg ulcers. And you go in some houses that they weren't terribly hygienic. I can't think of a polite way of putting it. And you'd kneel down on the floor to take some bandages off, and you'd instantly feel damp on your knees, and you'd hear a squelch, and you're like, "Oh, what's that? Is that what I think it is?" More often than not, it was. But we quickly learnt to take some pads and bin bags out with us, and if you suspect it, put them down on the floor first. But yeah, many a time I came home from work with soggy knees. Don't miss it. I'm not gonna lie. Don't miss it one bit. So as you can see, I'm just explaining to the patient here, yes, it does look a bit of a mess still, but have a think about what it looked like before. So the spray's got the best chance to work to get rid of this infection now. Would have been there all day trying to get every little speck, but you know what? I was absolutely delighted with everything we got from that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. But for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.